Facebook Live, we have arrived. Yeah, let's get it in.
Conference muted. Conference recording started.
Want to thank everybody for chiming in this Watchman Yahudah Israel, also known as Pastor Derek Mann, on the Early What I Seek the Scripture Study and Prayer Line on the second day in April 2019. Nicole, posted back up, young lady. And the Most High bless you for your faithfulness. Donna, Colt, Don, Reem, Jeff in the building. Charvet in the building. Big Sean, Rita Jones, Ray, Walker 12, Miss Paka. Hey, little bro. Big Sean, Big Sean. Look in the word, y'all. Big Sean called me little bro. Is he talking to me? Anyway. Let's go to Philippians, the 3rd chapter today. I just want to show y'all something. Keep giving you nuggets. Bye, 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 bye. Nuggets. 3 and 8. Philippians 3 and 8. Look what it says. It says, yea, doubtless, and I caught all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua HaMashiach, my Adonai, or my master, right? For whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I might win the Mashiach. It shouldn't be too hard to trade in the lesser for the better. I really want y'all to get this lesson this morning, right? But it shouldn't be too difficult, in theory, right? To trade in the lesser for, for the greater. That shouldn't be too difficult. Common sense, like. But what can cause a problem, or the problem, when you don't deem the lesser than the greater? When we believe that what we have is better than what the Most High is offering, that is the problem. That's a big problem. Say we dope dealer, liar, scandalous, child molester, even though they're working on that, pedophilia is on the rise, right? To say that that's a good thing too. But when we look at things that are still recognized as foul versus what's right, you can see the difference. And it's kind of like, again, while it's still common sense, because it's not too common no more. But while it's still common sense, it's easier to lay down the file, or at least in theory, lay down the file for the righteous. But when we see what we do as good, then it's not so cut and dry. There's a way to seem right to a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. Again, but the difficult piece is it seems right to us. And when how we live and what we do is cool with us, then it makes it a little more difficult to stop doing it. That can be an issue. We can easily take an attitude that we don't need Yah in this area in our lives. But we actually need the Most High in every area of our life. Every area. Every area in our lives. We need him. Shaul said, yeah, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge, to know the knowledge. The knowledge. Somebody is trying to have the Messiah without the knowledge of the Messiah. Do you know how many people run around here and say they know God without knowing God, for the lack of a better term? You got people that want to have a relationship with Yah or claim to have a relationship with Yah, but don't have a relationship with his word. Don't know nothing he say. So they're in ignorance concerning his word, his will, his way. They don't know that part. They just know there's an Elohim, but they don't know him. And this is the problem. So he said, yeah, doubtless, I count all things but loss. What is he counting loss? What did he lose? He lost his form of what's right, of doing things that is right in his own eyes. He was able to do a comparison analysis versus his righteousness and what he thought was right versus what Yah know is right, trying to tell us is right. That's a heck of a thing, ain't it? See, religious people are coasting on their own righteousness or the righteousness of man. Religious people that have a form of Yahliness, denying the power thereof. Let's deal with the form of Yahliness. They have a form of saying or believing what's right. How you doing, Renee? But they have a form of believing what they do is right, and it's not. It's not right. So if we look at what he was counting loss, it wasn't being a crackhead. He wasn't counting, oh, I gotta lose my bass pipe, my crack pipe. I gotta put down heroin. I can't be a pimp no more. That's nah. Because folks get that part. Folks understand that certain things are vile. They're not cool. And some folks is willing to walk away from that to have a relationship with the Most High. Well, let's comb these scriptures right here. Let's comb through it. What he's counting loss is all things. So if there was vile things in his life, he was willing to walk away from that. But he also is calling what he thought was good vile too, in comparison to Yah's righteousness. You got people that are bringing their righteousness to the table. When oh, taste and see that what Yah is saying is good. Not what we talking about. People have a way of bringing how they feel, their own personal goody two-shoes spirit to the table, and replace it, trying to be a Yah's table, right? Replace his righteousness for theirs. And it don't work like that. But to convince people of that, especially in the times we living in, we got an attitude like Yah ought to be happy we even at the table. We're taught from a theological standpoint that we're only human. We can, so how, we're only human, so just accept what we do. People really believe that. People believe like I'm gonna slide by because, again, he ought to be happy that I'm even at the table, and I'm only human anyway. And it don't work like that, but folks don't know. But look, yea, doubtless, and I count all things below, all things. For what? For the excellency of the knowledge of the Messiah, my master. Not just for the Messiah, but he specified for the knowledge. In other words, I'm going to go out of my way to find out what his will is. I'm going to go out of my way to find out his will. I don't want just having a form of him, learning his name, and then walk away from the table. Calling him God and walking away from the table. Say I got so-called God, but I don't even know him. I don't even know his word. And the word teaches he is his word. The word teaches that Yah is the word, his word. And somehow we come out having him without having his word. If you don't have his word, you don't have him. But folks don't know that. And then we unintentionally substitute our good deeds to be him. We look at things our way, right? It's painful to believe you have him and you don't. It's painful to be going against him and you think you're not. Because if you have your own righteousness, he could be trying to warn you. He could be whooping you. He could be disciplining you and you won't even know it. And you won't know it because you don't have him like you think you do. You got to know him in order to know what's going on. That's why the word teaches he won't have us ignorant concerning Satan and his devices. If you're his student, he's able to teach you what's going on in your life and why the things that are happening to you are happening. It's for a reason. Even if you think it ain't a reason, it's a reason. Y'all got a way of getting us in a situation where your help can't help you. One, y'all won't let your help you. That's one. And if your help try to help you, y'all just gonna crush it anyway. Because he's dealing with you directly. Yea, doubtless, I count all things lost. What are you counting lost? Cussing? What? Getting drunk? Being unequally yoked together with unbelievers? Acting a fool? Well, he did say I count all things. So that's cool. But when he said all things, he was talking about even his righteousness. You know how I don't bother nobody, I'm a good person. He counted that loss. He wanted to scoot away from his righteousness. Oh, I don't give, I don't give to the ministry, but if you need me, I'll help you. That ain't Yah's righteousness. That's your righteousness. And one, you got to love him enough to be searching for his righteousness, number one. And then number two, after you find it, you got to be willing to lay yours down for his. And everyone is not willing to do that because self-righteousness is self-pleasing. Do you fellowship? No. But I don't bother nobody and I read my Bible. Who told you you can do that? See, he said, yeah, doubtless. And I count all things but loss. What is he losing? And do we have to lose what he losing? He submitted to the loss of something. What was it? Can we find out what he lost? Can we find out what he lost? We like to believe he just stopped cussing. Come on, y'all, I'm trying to help. We like to believe that he stopped being scandalous and stealing, which I'm pretty sure if he was stealing, I don't think he was that type though. But if he was stealing, we were though. But if he was, a hustler or whatever his issue was, he let it go. He kind of lost. Could you see him stop being scandalous? But it'd probably be more difficult for him to stop being religious. Believing that doing a good deed every now and then, him and the Most High is on good terms. That's what people like to believe. Because, every now and then I give a homeless person, $10, $20, then me and the Most High is good. I'm not going to worry about, what they do with it, because that ain't none of my business. I just did what y'all wanted me to do. Me and y'all is good. Wonder if you find out you giving them that money don't make you and y'all good. It was a so-called good deed, but you and y'all still ain't cool. Because you got to surrender your will for his. You got to submit to him. He'll tell you what he like. You can't make up the rules for y'all to tell him what he like. Do you even care what he like? It's a whole nother thing. From a religious standpoint, you'll sing about it. You'll talk about it, but who gonna walk about it? Who really care what he want to the point that they gonna do it? Even when it's inconvenient for them. That's the type of righteousness y'all talking about. The type of righteousness you got to grit your teeth to do it. Not on your terms. Yea, doubtless. And I count all things but loss. What is he giving up, y'all? And what is he losing it for? Next. For the ecstasy of the knowledge. Someone went around here talking about I'm saved and I know the Messiah without knowing the knowledge of the Messiah, without knowing the word of the Messiah, without knowing the will of the Messiah. The Messiah is the word made flesh. So in other words, he said, I want to know the word of the Messiah. He traded in everything, what he thought. He traded in his righteousness. He traded that in for Yah's righteousness. Too many people come and go as they please. Calling him master mean he tell you what to do. And you got to know what he's telling you to do in order for him to be your master. You got people that's calling him master, but don't do what he say. That's why he said, why callest thou me Lord, Lord, and do not the things I say? Adonai. Why are you doing that? You don't even know what I'm telling you to do stuff. You ain't doing it. You don't even know. But so-called Paul wanted to know. And he was willing to trade in what he thought he knew for what the Messiah was telling him to do. It's the truth, y'all. Super easy for folks nowadays to have a form of godliness. You can't do nothing but have a form if you don't know the real thing. If you don't have the knowledge of him, you got a problem. And folks is comfortable for not knowing. A lot of people, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because you think you excused. If you don't know, you get to make up the rules. No, you don't. In flame and fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yah, nor obey the gospel of Yahudah. You got to know. In flame and fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yah, nor obey the gospel of Yahudah. So you better know. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. What you don't know can kill you. It's killing folks all the time. So let's look at the scripture, y'all. Yea, doubtless. And I count all things but loss. All. Including what he thought was right. He wanted to trade that in for what's really right. I don't want to have a form of what's right. I want the real thing. I don't want to pretend, make up the Elohim in my own head, in the figment of my imagination. I'm gonna make him like what I do. I'm gonna force him to that how I serve him is acceptable to him, whether he like it or not. No, I ain't got a fellowship. Well, the word say you do. Which one you gonna do? Which one you believe? You believe yourself or the word? Yea, doubtless, and I count all things. He counting all things. All the people would say, yeah, you need to stop doing that. That part, and he's even willing to walk away from the things that people say, oh yeah, you should keep doing that. Let me check with Yah. Let Yah be true, but every man a liar. I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen to Yah. I'm going to study to show myself approved on the Yah. I want the knowledge. I want to know that how I'm living and what I'm doing is acceptable with him. I want to know. I don't want to guess. Because what you're guessing with is your brain. Your carnal brain. And the carnal mind is hostile against Yah. And it won't bow down to Yah, neither indeed can be. So forget the guesswork. We want the real thing, don't we? I think we do. Yeah. And I count all a mathematical term, meaning he strategically, precisely counting all things. He's not gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18, 19, 30, 40, 50, 60. He's not going to do that. He's not. It's not how you count. Hey, did you count the money? Yeah. Well, I got you on video. You said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 40, 80, 90, 1,000. You didn't count. He counted. He said, and I count all things. He didn't skip nothing. He combed through his life, examining himself to see what he's doing, if what he's doing is what Yah want him to do, precisely, as opposed to putting his leaven in it. A little leaven the whole lump. You put a little yeast in the batter, the yeast go through the whole thing, and you're going to have you some bread. It's going to rise. The dough going to rise, y'all. You put some leaven in it, it's going to rise. It's going to go through the whole batch of dough, and it's going to rise. Our righteousness... Isaiah 64, I believe in 6, maybe 5, but 6, I believe. Says our righteousness is as filthy rag. Our righteousness, we're a tainted species, so our goody two-shoes stuff don't work. It worked when we was in the world. For us, we was in trouble, y'all. But it worked for us in the world, but it don't work with Yah. We were baptized into his death, to rise up to walk in the newness of life. We're going through the mind renewal process so we can get rid of our righteousness, what we see right, because he already told you there's a way to see right unto a man, but the end there was the ways of death. You think it's right. You better check the word so we can stop doing what's wrong in the eyesight of the Most High. I don't want to be a people pleaser. I don't even want to please myself, because what I'm working with ain't cool. I need his word. I need his ruach. I need his spirit. I need him to lead and guide me. I already led and did things my way. I guided myself my whole life until the truth of the gospel came. I'm done with me. What, Yah, is this right? He'll let you know, no, stop doing that. You have a form. You need the real thing. No, you need me. Looking on to me, the author and finisher of your faith. Hide the word in your heart that you might not sin against me. Not your thoughts, the word. In fact, the word cast down my imaginations and bring every thought into the obedience of the Messiah, of the truth of Yah. It's the truth anyhow. The word come to stop your stinking thinking. And some people is using their stinking thinking trying to serve Yah. It don't work. So He counted it all loss. And he counted it loss for the knowledge of the Mashiach. Not just, save me, Jesus. No, I need the knowledge. I need the knowledge of the word. I need to know him intimately. And I need to be willing and ready to make the necessary adjustments as he revealed. He counted all the knowledge and how he felt about stuff and what he thought. He counted that loss to find out the truth. He wanted the true knowledge of the Mashiach. For whom I have suffered the loss of all things. He gave it all up. Church folks running around here in the choir and cussing. Folks running in and out of y'all's life and don't know that that's wrong. People wonder why the Most High is whooping them instead of blessing them. You need to find out. You're quick to defend yourself. You're wrong and don't even know it. And when you don't submit to Yah right, you don't understand his judgment. You don't understand when he's whooping you. You don't understand it. You can end up being depressed, feeling sorry for yourself, when really he's trying to save your life. And you ain't going to get him to stop. When Yah get on you, can't nobody help you. The only one that can help you is him when he get on you. And you need to figure out what the problem is. And running in and out of his life is a part of the problem, not the whole problem. There's a problem bigger than you running in and out of his life. You don't understand the problem because you keep running in and out of his life. Then the devil can work on you because he's trying to kill you. Yeah, doubtless, I count all things but loss for the ecstasy of the knowledge of the Messiah, my master, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but doodle, the comparison analysis, that I may win the Messiah. How many of us trying to win the Messiah? I mean, really, I need him so bad I can scream. I'm trying to win him. He captured me. I'm trying to capture him back. I want to win him. Huh. I might go over time this time, y'all. I think it's spring. Not for everybody, but I got to keep teaching, y'all. I don't think I'm going to stop this one right now. And be found in him. Be found in him. I want to be found in him. He said, if you abide in my word and my word abide in you. I want to be found in him. I want to be found in his word. I'm supposed to be hiding his word in my heart. And if I hide his word in my heart, I'm going to be found in him. You're going to find yourself in him. You're going to find out the process of true salvation. Because when you received him, you were baptized into his death. You were baptized in him. You were baptized into him. Sure was. And if you meditate his word, you might not have known that when it happened, but if you meditate in his word, you're going to find out you're in him. Right inside of it. He's in you, and he's going to reveal to you, you in him. If you do not meditate in his word, you ain't going to find out you in him. And when the chips are down, you're going to find out you're not in him, and he's the resurrection. Ain't no get up if you ain't in him. Ain't no resurrection. If we're in the likeness of his death, if we were planted in the likeness of his death, then we'll be in the likeness of his resurrection. If you're not planted in his death, when you were baptized in him, your program ended. And this is what he's talking about. When you were baptized in him, you were baptized to his death. And like as he was raised up by the resurrection, by the glory of the Father, even so we should walk in the newness of life. Because we're not walking in our righteousness no more. He'll tell you how often to fellowship. You doing that? He'll tell you how often to give. Are you doing that? He'll tell you how often to forgive. Are you doing that? He'll tell you who to hang with and who not to. Are you doing that? He'll tell you how to talk. Are you doing that? He'll tell you if you should drink or not. Are you doing that? Or you do what you want to do and you just go to church every now and then. Oh, come on, let's talk about it. If you want to know what's going on in your life and can't nobody help you, who's stopping them from helping you? Is it the Creator? Because if it's him, you're going to have to see the Creator. Folks be having petitions before Yah. Is he capable of answering? Of course he is. He's also capable of not answering. Or no is the answer. And it's coming directly from him. And it's not that he don't love you. He say, if you be without chastisement, then are you bastards and not sons. Meaning you're parentless, you're fatherless when he can't whoop your tail. And you not going to get him to stop unless you stop. You ain't going to get him to stop. Because if you get him to stop, well, I'll say you can get him to stop. Don't get it twisted. And if you get him to stop, that means you got a problem. Because if anybody without his chastisement, then are they bastards and not his children. I can't help you. You're going to have to get help from the devil. And some folks get in a pinch so bad that they're willing to sell their soul. That's what Esau did. He sold his soul because he was hungry. Let him tell he was going to starve to death. The truth of the matter, he wasn't going to starve to death. It just looked like it. And the Most High allowed it to look like it. So what's really in him can come out. And it came out. He sold his birthright. He sold the ministry. He sold the responsibility. It actually was a privilege. To him, it was a responsibility that he didn't care too much for. He got so hungry, he sold out. Y'all know what he's doing. He's the master builder. And our flesh be kicking and screaming. And when you get caught up, being found in your flesh, when the Most High start moving, it can get unbearable almost. It's like, what the heck? Yeah. And the Most High do that. When I let you in and I was raising you up and teaching you and blessing you, you turned on me. So now you're paying for it. Because you still turning on me. Now first, y'all, I'm going to let y'all go in a second. If you got to go, I understand. And be found in him, not having my own righteousness. I don't want my own righteousness because it's going to conflict with Yah. I'm going to end up having an alt with Yah. I'm going to end up being on the other side. If I come with my righteousness, the way I'm doing it is good enough, I feel. You know, I ain't got a fellowship. Y'all know my heart. You know how folks is, don't you? They're going to come with their own little package, their own little righteousness package. And they're going to have excuses why they don't obey it. I remember I saw a couple of families got put in a real tough situation in order to stay in fellowship. They both was put in the same situation. One family was 100% faithful. And those very certain circumstances for the other family knocked them out the box. Had the other family not been in the exact same circumstance, it would have looked justifiable for the one family that got knocked out the box. But because there was two families put in the same situation, one family made it and the other one didn't. That's how it worked. Revelation. Now, to the family that got knocked out the box, they justified in their mind. But Yah always have a witness. That's why we can't have our own righteousness. We gotta go to the throne to find out what's really going on, and be found in Him, not having my own right. I want to be found in Him, in His work, baptized into His death, to rise up to walk in the newness of life. Same process He went through. He was baptized into death, and then He rose, and we supposed to rise. That same process happen to us spiritually, and we're supposed to walk in the newness of life. We're supposed to be a new creation. And when things get bad, we're supposed to be able to cast our cares upon him, knowing that he cares. Most High has a way of defeating everything for us, and we'll have that testimony when it looked completely bad. But he do that for those that love him, that do what he say, that don't sell out when it get rough. You literally are doing what he say, and you got people that don't do what he say. They just talk like they do. They try to convince themselves that they do. No, you don't. And I pray you're wise enough to know that. Because if you need help and don't know it, you really got a problem. And so look what he's doing though. He wants the knowledge. Because he want to be found in him. And in order to be found in him, you need the knowledge. That's why he said, if you abide in my word, and my word abide in you. He wanted to be found in him. And he knew that in order to be found in him, he had to be in his word. And then what he going to find out is his word is in him. He abide in the word. Then he going to find out the word is in him, leading and guiding him into all truth. That's what you're going to find out. When you meditate in the word, when you hide his word in your heart that you might not sin against him, because you need the knowledge. You don't want the form. You don't want just to know the name. You don't want to just be living off of his fame. You want it in you. So you got to be found in him. Finding in him, you abiding in the word, and you're doing it. That gives you permission to ignore your circumstances because he's going to take care of it. But when you're not abiding in him, you got a problem. Because the problems are here to break you or your disobedience. Unfortunately, some people get broke all the way because they don't love him like that. They just say they do. But the circumstances prove we got to somehow end up in him, have the real thing. You don't have a form of it because this race get too hot to have a form of it. The trials is too real. The only way we can count it all joy when we fall into diverse temptations is to really be in him. Or else we're going to need that false doctrine. I'm only human. We need that false doctrine. Once saved, always saved. We need that false doctrine. I'm a sinner saved by grace. We need that sinner doctrine, that I'm scandalous doctrine, but I'm still going to heaven and I'm so glad about it doctrine. We need it if you ain't going to obey him. That's why wide is the road to lead to destruction. Heck of people get destroyed in this race because circumstances prove their wickedness. Oh, he got me teaching this morning. And be found in him, not having my own righteousness. That's called your own right. You like your righteousness. I'm a good person. Yeah, okay. Whatever you say. I'm a good person. I'm just... And be found in him, not having my own righteousness. Because you're going to pat yourself on the back, even though you don't deserve it. You don't think you are, and you're going to try to convince others that you are. Nuh-uh. That's your own righteousness. Not having my own righteousness, which is of the law. It's not of faith. It's not trusting him. It's of the law. It's of, I can save myself. Because that's what the law is, saving myself. I'm righteous enough to do it myself. But that which is of faith, I trust the Mashiach. I'm obeying him and loving him and getting the knowledge of him because I trust him with everything I got. I trust him with my family, myself. I trust him concerning these situations I'm in. I trust him to clean my mouth up, to teach me how to come out from among them, be separate, not hang with the world, not being unequally yoked together. I trust him, our fellowship if he tell me to, and trust him to teach me. I'm not going to go in a pity party full of sorrow for myself. I'm going to stay in his face through faith. Not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, of duty, but that which is of that, but that which is through the faith of the Mashiach. The righteousness which is of Yah by faith. I'm going to stop right there, y'all, because I'll keep going. But the righteousness of Yah, of Yahudah, by faith, by trusting in what he say, by trusting in his word. I ain't trusting nothing else. Can't none of y'all help me from the devil. You can't rescue me from the devil. Only he can. You can't help me in my time of need. Only he can. He send people to help, but he also stop people. He'll stop them. And when we hard-headed and do it anyway, because we love the wrong way, when we try to do it anyway, he just ain't going to let it work. You cannot help nobody against Yah. He ain't going to let you. It says it's cold when your help need help. Sometimes he got to drive folks up so they can't help. Because he know you willing. I ain't gonna let you be able to help then. Or if you do help, I ain't gonna let it work. I'm gonna bless you for being willing to help, but it ain't gonna work. Because the Most High ain't gonna let it. You know what I mean? Things I didn't try to do and had all the resources to do it, but it didn't happen because the Most High said no. I don't care if you get the Pope, the president. If you're Hebrew, don't even think about it. They're not going to help you. I don't care if you get the president or the Pope to help. If y'all say no, the answer is no. That's why we as individuals got to go to the throne of so-called grace with boldness, making our petitions known. We got to go to him ourselves. We got to go to him ourselves. And he will send help. He will send help. And when he want it to happen, it's going to happen. And when he don't want it to happen, it's not. And some of us is being chastised. And some of us is willingly deceived, being chastised and don't even want to admit it. And if you don't admit it to yourself, you got problems. Coming directly from the creator of all. The one that want to bless you, he's trying to. You might not like it because it could be a whooping in it. But if you trust him, he'll work it out. It's the truth anyhow. We don't want to be found in our own righteousness. We got to submit to him. Which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of the Mashiach, the righteousness of which is of Yah by faith. It's his righteousness. It's Yah's righteousness. And it happens and it works by faith. Did y'all get the lesson? Huh. It's a trip how I see Yah love on his children. Because I don't be knowing what I'm going to teach. I don't even know. I just don't be knowing. And it comes out so important in the lives of his children. So the word has been sent. It's been spent. I pray it was spent on you and that you govern yourself accordingly. Let's pray. Spirit of the Most High, we love you and thank you for this opportunity to come before you, humbly to know how. Gleaning before the presence of your word. You sent your word to save us. The word is going out of your mouth and will not return unto you void, but will accomplish what you please. And you please for the word to separate the sheep from the goats, to save your children and judge the others. And that's exactly what it does. We thank you for this process and we celebrate. We celebrate your word doing what it need to do in our lives, that you might present us blameless before your presence. And we trust in that process. And it's done and we receive it in the matchless name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah and amen. That was a lesson again, y'all. If the lesson blessed you, found you, and set you up for the rescue, celebrate. And push the share button so somebody else can celebrate too. We were compelled to go out to compel others to come in that his house might be full. Hallelujah. And it's so easy to do in this digital age we in. Push the share button. It's that easy. If you want to support the ministry, feel free. Go to the Cash App. If you had a Cash App, or you can download it, whatever. But if you want to support this ministry, all you got to put in is the $, Yahudah Israel, my first and last name. YAHUDAH Yep. $ Yahudah Israel. And sow your seed. If y'all want to talk about the word, I would love to. All you got to do is dial 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Again, 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Call in because we finna get off Facebook. Call into the line if you want to talk about the word. Y'all continue to pray for me as I pray for you. Be Baruch and Barak and Shalom. I'm gone.